Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie. I'm a 32-year-old zero-based cashless budgeter and stuffer. And today we're going to be doing my unstuffing for the first week of October. So if you are new here, I get paid through PayPal. I do all my transactions on my PayPal debit card. And this is just pulling the money out of my physical envelopes so that they match what is in my envelopes online. So we have a lot of money to pull out today. However, this is very good, very exciting, and we're going to get there. But we're going to go ahead and get started with my variable expenses, like always. So we're going to skip buffer. We never pull anything out of buffer. It just sits there, covers my transactions. And if I'm short on anything, if I have any IOUs, we just cover that with my buffer. We are going to be pulling out of Crochet by Jamie. My Etsy fees came out for the month. So they were $19. So we're going to pull out 10, 15, 17, and 19. And my Etsy shop is currently closed. I had a difficult customer, let's say, and I closed my shop after finishing that sale, and it's currently staying closed so that I can make Christmas presents. And then once my Christmas presents are all made, once I have all of that done, I have a lot of things to get done. Once those are all done, I will reopen my shop, and I will at that point start posting my link in my descriptions again. But for now, my shop is closed. All right, up next, we're gonna pull out of gas. So I only filled up my tank once last week, and it was for $33. So you have 50, so 40, 35, 33. Okay, cool. So that leaves us with 10, 25, 27, $29 in gas, which is almost enough for one tank. I do have a whole lot of points at Sheets, and I can use 88 gas, so I can fill up my tank for a decently cheap amount at Sheets this week, so I will likely do that. I also did have some cash from my mother. So I'm filming on Wednesday, full disclosure. I got some cash from my mom for picking up some food for her. So I used that to fill up my tank already, or most of my tank already. So I'm hoping that $29 will be enough to get me through the rest of the week. And if not, then we'll just cover it with next week's stuffing. And the sun is coming out, so just normal Pittsburgh weather. And then we do have a grocery transaction. I spent $5 at Aldi. I got apples and bagels. So we had $5 in groceries, so that is now empty. And I will also use the cash from my mom if I need to buy any groceries this week. Prescriptions we are not pulling out of. However, we are going to be pulling out of spending. So I went to Sheets and I spent $6. I think it was on energy drinks, most likely. Knowing me, it was energy drinks. So we're pulling out $6, so 5 and 6. So we have $5 left in spending. All right, go ahead and highlight that. So that's it for my variable expenses. So we're going to move into my high priority binder. So, oops, we're going to car costs. I got my oil changed. That cost $74. I'll just put today's actual date. You can probably hear the buses driving by. I live near a school, so it's the end of the school day. School letting out, buses are driving by. So we're taking out $74 from my oil change. I also had my tire light on. I thought it was because I had, what am I thinking? Nothing. I had a flat tire a couple weeks ago. I hit something on my way into work and I had to get a new tire. It completely shredded my tire, and I got a new one, and the TPMS sensor was like deactivated whenever I did that. So I thought that my light was on just because of that. Turns out I had a nail in one of my other tires. So luckily I had my oil change, and they took care of that as well for free, which was great. But we're pulling out we're pulling out $74. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 5, 65.75, and we'll put back $1 for, should be 301 here. So we have 1, 2, and 301. So my car is all set until the end of the year. I'll do my inspection in December, my oil change in December most likely, and I'll have to get new tires in December as well. So the joy of owning a car. It will be expensive, but we already have 301 saved up for that. Okay, up next we're going into debt payoff. I made a payment on my Old Navy card for $36. So we'll pull out 40. So 20, 30, 40. And let me break a 5 into 2 2s and a 1, and hopefully not shake the camera too much. So we'll put back $2. So in here now we have 20, 40, 50, 2, and 4. 54, yes. Yep, that's right. And then let me grab a cloth and some alcohol. And we'll just take this back down to $50 on the tracker because each of these circles is worth $10. Okay. And I do have my card payment due at the end of the month for, I believe it's $167 this month. So we are just going to bulk that back up to save for that. Okay. Festivals, no. Gifts we are going to be pulling out of. I went to Michael's and I spent $24 on some yarn and some pom-poms for gifts for my friends. I made them hats with, oops. My one friend is into the Steelers. Obviously, we live in Pittsburgh. And one of my friends is into the Eagles because he's from Philly, the Philly area. So I made them a Steelers hat and an Eagles hat. So we're pulling out $24. Do I have? Yes. So we'll pull out 25. So 10, 15, 20, 25. And put back 1. So we should have 157 in gifts now. So we have 150, 5, 6, and 7. 157. And I am planning on making most of my Christmas presents for my family. I knit and I crochet. So I'm making a lot of socks for people, a couple sweaters. And then if I feel like the gifts are not like enough, I try to spend about $30 to $50 per person. So if the gifts I feel aren't valued at $30 to $50, I will go ahead and get them something as well. So that's what this money is for. One of my friends is also getting married next October, so I'll have to buy her a gift. And then my sister is getting married at some point in the future, so I'll have to buy her a gift as well. All right. So that is it for my high priority binder. So we're going to move into my long-term savings for my final transaction, which is the biggest one, the most exciting one. We are pulling $3,906 out of home improvement because I am finally getting my roof fixed. Today, actually, the day you're watching this video, Friday, my October 10th, I think it is, my roof is getting fixed. If you don't know what happened, because this happened a long time ago, back in March and April, Pittsburgh had some really, really bad storms and my roof got damaged. I filed a claim with my insurance right away, reached out to the roofers right away, and it took them almost 7 months for them to schedule me to get my roof fixed. But it's finally here. I'm finally getting my roof fixed. I can't wait just for this to be over. But $3,906 is how much I owe for the balance of my roof. So we're pulling out 1, 2, 3,000, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 2, 4, 5, and 6. I'm just so glad that this is getting done, that I don't have to deal with this anymore. I'm going to keep this binder out because we're going to need the Roundup challenge in a second. But That is our big boy transaction, for the week. So now let's go ahead, add all these up, see how much money should be in the tray. It's gonna be a lot. $41.03. Holy moly. All right. So let's see what we've got in here. So we have 1, 2, 3,000, 500, 1, 2, 3, 400, 50, 20, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. My fingers are really cold, so this is difficult. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 2, 4, 6, 1, and 2. Perfect, 41.03. So the final thing we need to do, I just smacked myself in the chest. The final thing that we need to do is add up all of my change from each of my transactions and add that into my roundup challenge. So most of these are just my normal change. I also got $20.26 from my interest for the month because I had that almost $4,000 in my home improvement fund. I also got my big girl paycheck, so I put a portion of that into my cash stuffing envelopes, and I had a $5 Atlas Earth payout. So we are stuffing a whopping $70.57 into this envelope this week. So, and we had 278.41 brings us to 348.98. So I'm gonna go ahead and color in my bubbles first. So we're doing 7 bubbles this week because each of these bubbles is worth $10, same as the debt payoff. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm really bad at coloring today. And 7. And then we're going to be adding $70, so 50 and 70. And then we should have 348 in here. I obviously don't stuff change. So we have 1, 2, 50, 270, 290, 310, 320, 330, 335, 340, 42, 44, 45, 46, 47, 348. Perfect. And once we get up to $500, we will go ahead and reallocate this into my other envelopes. If you've been tagging around for a while, you know which envelopes they're going to go into, mostly debt payoff and festivals. Also, we are saving up for a trip to Hawaii in 2027. So we're going to try to put some in there. And then a couple little random surprise envelopes we will also stuff as well. But that is going to be it for this video. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me, did you think that I was ever going to get my roof fixed? Because I was not sure that that was going to happen, but it is. And I will see you on Monday for my next budget with me.